Good afternoon, everybody, from the Taj Mahal in India. Welcome to this conversation today with Rajashree on reality versus spirituality. What is the difference? So we're going to talk about a lot of things today and the four pillars of life and a few other things, and perhaps some questions and thoughts that might come up according to where we are today in the world and such. So, but first of all, I want to welcome Rajashree. An introduction may not be necessary, but in case you don't know Rajashree, and this is all from memory, I haven't written anything down about this. Rajashree was five-time National India Yoga Champion, Mrs. India. She has been doing yoga since a young child, reluctantly a little bit at first, but then later on quite happily. And she's here today to share some of her insight and wisdom on this incredible day on Mother's Day. So thank you, Rajashree, for being here. I'm really glad to see you. And again, I've already said this to you, but happy Mother's Day.
Namaste.
So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. Great introduction. But today is a focus on Mother's Day and reality, what is going on right now. So,
we've had numerous discussions over the year, Rajashree, over the last 20 plus years about reality and spirituality and about yoga and about happiness and the pillars of life. And one of the things that we talked about just actually recently was that perhaps one of the highest spiritual ideas is to be happy no matter what. And especially in today's world, that may be a challenge at times. Can you?
Yeah, exactly. It's a great question, Michael. We discussed that last several times. And happiness to find within should be the ultimate goal. Most of the time, we don't look into ourselves how to find the happiness. We try to look the happiness outside, and we're trying to somehow make ourselves in our mind, if I have this, if I have that, then that will make me happy. But sometimes if something we are having more and still is not making us happy at all. So for me, that's why I said the acceptance is the key. Appreciation, gratitude, and just accept the life the way it is, accept the moment the way it is. Of course, we all try to do things better than what we are doing. And if the things are going the way it is and that moment, you have to make out of it as happy as you can be, because maybe situation is not in your control. Many times, like today's world right now, none of us we knew this is going to happen. We all have gone through many epidemic, but this pandemic, the way it's totally made the world economic crisis right now, we are all worried about, as much as we are worried about getting sick, at the same time, we are all worried about how we're going to survive, what will happen to our business model. I mean, that's why I felt to come up with this topic, reality versus spirituality, because what is reality right now? That is reality. We are all stuck in the house. Of course, there are rules and the regulation, their invention, the science, and everything is coming up and telling us how to live a life. But are we happy? I mean, we are keep finding out more and more people going with a problem with the mental health issues. People are high risk in this COVID-19 situation, that they need to be staying home, and we all have to stay away from them. So many parents cannot see the children, and many parents are really feeling they are alone. I mean, especially throughout the world, like a lot of families are single family, and they need to go out. Single mother, they need to go out, or the father, they have to work and take care of the kids. Kids are home. They don't know how to leave their kids at home alone. Like my mother. My mother is in India alone, and looking there, if the neighbors are looking after, but still there is a big high risk, and she doesn't want to go out because she's not young. She's definitely that risk factor. Thank God she's doing okay. She's very positive, but I just feel that loneliness for people, because we are losing the human connection. And that's why I give that human connection called spirituality.
Yeah.
Because what is the spirituality means? Spirituality is a sense of connection. And we all need it. We lose that, we kind of lost that connection right now. We are all depending on internet. We are all depending on, like going into the computer and or picking up the phone. Is it going to help us all the time? And is it going to make us happy? That's another question you can ask me. And I will say in this moment, we have to accept that. There is no other way. Because if we don't make ourselves happy, if my mom is speaking very far away, so many miles away, and I'm here and I'm keep crying with her, what is going to make her more unhappy, right? So I have to be somehow strong enough to inspire. So that's reality when we face those two sides. But I'm also going through a lot of difficulties. I don't want to share that stories. Now here is people get lost. I think we constantly try to find the truth. Truth is also a reality. Reality is spirituality. Spirituality is finding the truth. Reality also finding the truth. So what is the truth?
Well,
So
that's a good question, and I think that that's something that I know I've struggled with, and we've talked about it. And it may be a little bit different for different people. So, I mean, how do we discern the truth really for ourselves?
each one of us, we have a definition of the truth different way because our understanding is different.
Mhm.
Our intellectual capability is different. And that's why I wanted to bring that four pillars of life, because it is very, very difficult for us right now sitting here and judging everybody, but we try to judge everybody. So we need to very much to be open minded. We all have to be very open minded and help each other. I feel like this is the situation by pressure, everybody connected with themselves more, which is the first step of practicing spirituality.
Well,
Because if we,
that's an interesting comment because, I've heard it said too that this is not really social distancing, it's physical distancing, and there's
right,
a difference.
exactly.
And that
Well,
connection is
when
so important.
yeah, because when you use what called social distancing, it's kind of for me first, right? Why do I have to be socially distanced with the person, or the community, or where I belongs? It's not social distancing; it's a physical distancing for hygiene reason.
Yeah.
And to this moment, that is what is the guidelines we are getting, and we have to follow for better health and better and for our individual who is high risk and seniors.
Yeah.
So we have to do that. So it's definitely a physical distancing, but honestly, it's like still this physical distancing making people also disconnect. But I feel myself, what I've been hearing and seeing, or myself, what I'm practicing. I am here at my home with my two kids,
Yeah.
and all rest of my family is not here.
Yeah.
Few handful of family members are some other states that we are communicating once a week, definitely just to feel good. And what I am doing myself, most of the time at the beginning when this whole lockdown started, it was called quarantine. Like we all went our own room, and like even being in the same house, we wanted to be make sure I'm protecting my children, or they are also thinking of mother. Mother is older than her, just to be careful. So all of a sudden, the social impact actually making all of us watching or caring for others.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful thing, because in the society when we don't care for others, it's really we lose connection with ourselves or our happiness.
Yeah.
And it's then when we are at home, all of us, we have a space ourselves that we like to do things make us feel good. So you are writing, like I started doing my painting. We all together, community, we started doing the cooking, and I am reading books, I'm watching movies, and not in myself alone. We are three together watching. I feel like family came closer also.
Hmm. So it's
And
almost
they
like,
are
let me ask you something, because something just popped up. The idea of yoga is about union
exactly.
and having that connection. And it's
Now I
like,
want to mention that
yeah,
part. One point, it was almost that you can't go out. So we didn't go out even walking, just we were all worried. Even the who has the pet, they had to go to keep the dog out. But besides that, mostly we are trying to stay home. What everyone is doing right now, yoga. Yoga and meditation. I think that's the main self healing, self care practice every individual has picked up right now. And everyone is doing with whatever their understanding is, whatever their time they want to put it on, and doing great,
yeah.
doing really, really well. And it's really helpful because I remember when I came to United States long time ago, and those 80s, yoga was very yoga was not popular. Yoga lifestyle is today is to think about, oh, you do all the spiritual practice. That means it's a religious practice, and it has a certain way of living lifestyle. No one wants to give up, and they feel like something, like a targeted towards that transcendence, and it's a very higher conscious, and those practice is not practical, and scientists, of course, they did not accepted that kind of a theory. But now everyone is practicing because they understand that the first steps is all about breathing, and what we inhale, what we are putting into our body, what we are thinking into our mind, and the positive thinking, changing your lifestyles, and going into the spiritualism. And the whole spirituality is the connection. I mean, it's a dimension is huge. We are always in the collective consciousness, and we are picking up the stories. Like every time you open the television, what do you see? Oh my goodness, every time, you are happy seeing some story, and you are sometimes is something that makes you scared. I mean, fear going on, people back and forth their mind, and is causing the stress.
Well,
And
let me
on
ask you something there, and I don't know whether you're experiencing this or other people on the call are, but I mentioned this to a friend of mine recently. It's almost like through deeper self practice and through everything that's happening, I feel like my intuition is building and getting stronger, and I'm more aware of things. And again, I don't know if that makes sense or if other people are experiencing that, but it's like
No, that is
triggering.
exactly true. That is exactly where yoga means,
Yeah.
because it's all about intuition. Because if you put your positive energy out, if we say that as a yoga teacher, everybody used to think, "What are you talking about? Where is scientific data?" But if you all throughout the world, everyone is doing prayers right now, doing breathing together, doing prayers, and all this happening. Why? Because what good positive intention you are putting out there. That's why I said, if you start with your own practice of spirituality, but then your reality, you hit in, and then where it goes, it's a bigger concept that we are seeking bigger than ourselves, because we can't live with ourselves only. We have to live in this society, community. So when we see our loved one unhappy, we are not happy.
Mhm.
We see if their life has a trouble, we are not happy. So it involves, the spirituality involves universal human experience, and that's where the spiritual data comes from. And I know it's a controversy, but we do. And today the science is bringing all the data and giving us the guidelines,
Yeah.
and they are also telling everyone, go practice yoga, go practice breathing, go walk outside, because you need that healing we have. And we can't depend on, like happiness, we can't depend on from the outsource always.
Yeah.
It's a very much inside thing.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned about getting out and walking. I get out and walk virtually every single morning. I'm blessed to live next to a river trail, and I'm able to walk along the river, or I go into the mountains, into the forest where there isn't anybody, and I really feel that connection to the earth and to the ground.
Of course, we need
Yeah,
those connection with the earth, water.
yeah,
Definitely, air. Those are very important for us. The
yeah,
nature,
yeah,
because we can't. A human being, our life and our healing cannot go away from it. We can't be away from those natural things. We need to be part of it. If we make ourselves part of it, if you see, if you take a walk, if you're very high stress, if you take a walk, and you don't have to even listen music. A lot of people are listening music, but enjoy the moment of you are walking, stepping out from the your home, and you start watching things outside with the person who is next to you walking, or the beautiful tree or the flower. I mean, I myself right now waking up and trying to every day appreciate the life that gave it sometimes in my life a pause. Of course, it's worries me what will happen 2 months from now, but pause to look at my life, what I need to change. And sometimes we don't have that because we are momentum, we are keep racing our life with.
yeah,
And I wake up with a beautiful sunshine, or sun even doesn't rise that early. I wake up that early and I try to listen to the birds singing, because it's something that I feel like, oh, I never understood, or I did not even know what is natural beauty. Why people go to sanctuary so much. I mean, I've been to visit a sanctuary just knowing that the sanctuary is beautiful, but I never really went and appreciated the way I'm feeling that every morning waking up, hearing that is so beautiful.
mhm,
So everybody, I think this was a good lesson, and we sometimes we complain with our life, what we have, and we don't appreciate. I think here we all had a chance to change that and make a pause. But definitely, there is a collective information I'm getting from all the yoga teachers and the profession. They are all individual studio owners, or freelancer who goes and teaches the studio. It's very hard for us to think how our life would be next three months from now. So sometimes when its reality comes, of course innovation comes within. So I think I encourage everybody, I invite everybody to look into your heart, because I come from the years that I did not know what is computer means. We didn't have a telecommunication system. Even when I moved this country, they didn't have it, and we had to learn. For me, it's very hard for me to learn all these new techniques, and all, and
mhm,
not even believe in it, where I believe in human connection, human continuous meeting people, talking to them. And for me, it's like all happening on the Zoom, or happening on the phone. It's not always the same. Before used to be, we used to write a letter, we stopped writing. But when we write an email, can we express ourselves that much? Then we start picking up the phone. Now think about it, how
yeah,
things has changed. Yeah.
yeah. Well, one of the things that I wanted to ask you about as well is, um, we've talked a lot about self-realization, and when we traveled in India, like this picture is from the Taj when we were there. I think it was 2002,
Yeah, 2002.
and I really got a deeper grasp of the self-realization idea. One of the things that I'm still looking at, and you mentioned it too recently, is the four pillars of life, and really
Yes.
how that fits into everything.
I will tell you that because it's kind of something I'm actually working on myself right now. The first phase of four pillars of right called belongings. And second one is called purpose. And the third one called transcendence. And fourth one is called storytelling. So if you look at it it's on reality. That's the life about those four pillars. In yoga, in sutras, we talked about four stages of life. And these four pillars really very much, um, I will say appreciate, but is simplified by four stages in life. How we born, where we born, what we born with, that's our belongings. The first quarter in life, which is called brahmacharya, The meaning of brahmacharya, people think different way, but it's all about process of learning. It's a growth. That's the time happen. We born and then we start walking, then we start going to school. We learn yama niyamas, which is a part of discipline in life. We learn what to do, what not to do. We go to school, we learn everything. A lot of things in what we born with, that belongings, we can't change, and we have to live with it. We can't change our parents. We can't change our country where we born. We cannot change our roots where are we from, and we cannot change the way our life was when we were born, because that's where we were born. We can complain all the time. We can criticize, and we can compare. We can continuously say, "Well, I was not privileged to be born there. I was privileged." That doesn't give us any purpose. See, after belongings it comes to the purpose. So the four stages in the brahmacharya, that stages in life, the belongings is a very important. So that's what time we look for a mentor, we look for a teacher to learn. Still we are always not there, because we do a mistake, and a lot of time when we do mistake, of course we get scolded by our seniors or our mentors or our teachers who said you won't do anything in life. And definitely we are learning not to say those things or change it or help, because not everybody has same aptitude level that can grasp the things right away, and sometimes we all have to go through suffering, and looking suffering is a lesson, not as a curse. That's on another thing, also, and that's the Buddhism always talks about it very much, how the growth happened. So whatever we did, the childhood and experience, the belongings we come. So our life depends on later on that, but we can change. Now we understand that we can change. How? Apply the yoga, the connection, the union with yourself and understanding. Yes, don't we get out of track? That's normal. We get out of track. So the purpose has to come with that belonging. So that's why we all start working in the second stage, which is the garhastha. And we call it a family life, but it's not about family, it's individual family. It's really talking about society, social life, how you deal with others, what are you doing, what are you working on, or how you are communicating. It's earning money is a part of life, because you've got to earn money and to live your life, and everybody has to grow with it, and that's the second stage. It's a very big, if you notice that every stage has a learning. I mean, we are constantly learning what we are doing. So the mind has to be open. You can make your opinion, but not to make a judgment. If you make a judgment and if you resist and withdraw yourself, so you are not helping others or not part of the society. So it's kind of a selfless, sometimes conditional, sometimes unconditional. It's a learning process we go through. The third stage is comes where is transcendence, because it comes third quarter in life, mostly that time after 50. I think I'm living that life. That life is very beautiful. That life you start learning things that doesn't important to you anymore. You start letting go many things. You start distancing for many things, which is desire or greed or hope. My life was like that. A lot of belongings you come with, you start appreciating and not saying that those belongings was not helpful towards my growth or where I am, because we all dream, right? We all dream big. We all want to be something what we are not, but what we are, we don't make it best out of that.
Yeah.
So there's a transcendence is a part, is a third quarter, is a very important part. I think we need to really take it seriously, and we really need to make process for the last part, which is called storytelling. Because what are you storytelling? That's the meaning of life,
Mm.
and that's what you can leave behind, and that's the really meaning of life, that how you live your life, because your experience, your journey, your knowledge, your story will reflect how you lived your life. And that's why you see sometimes we want to hear from someone, sometimes we don't want to hear from somebody. And maybe they all have a perception of the way they looked at their life, and that's what they are talking about it. But why we don't listen to that? Maybe we're going to, as a young, many times we don't want to hear and talk to our grandparents because they will start about stories from their childhood which we feel like we're not connecting with.
Yeah.
Like some people sending me some music which is 40s music right now, and for those people are older than me and they're sending it and they are saying, oh, you should hear it. I mean, I'm not able to connect because I'm born later and my kids, my whole test has changed.
Mhm.
But the grassroots, belongings we all have, and believe me or not, the last 2 quarters we start going back. More we can go back and more we can get connected, more we can be more peaceful and more happier in life, because nothing get wasted.
Yeah.
That's the first thing, is nothing get wasted. And we always think that, oh my, this year of experience got wasted. So when we got into the pressure and the stress, we start feeling, woof, I can't live my life. Why my life like this, God? What did I do? Why? But there are easy lessons we learn, so that there is a story comes up. And that story is, maybe I'm not feeling, like worth it about it. But yes, some other people will see that. So always try to be positive and try to be connecting with yourself. That is the spiritual connection you can create. And anytime if you feel like you're choking, just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Just take a breath, because that's the only way that that's what the truth is. My truth, my experience, your truth is your experience. There is no comparison, there is no judgment. We can make opinion, but opinion is not about fighting. Opinion is understanding. Opinion is trying to communicate with my own way, trying to communicate with my own words, trying to communicate with you with my own feelings, how I feel.
Yeah. That's wonderful. By the way, I just wanted to remind everybody that's listening that you can type in any questions or write in any thoughts or comments that you'd like to ask Rajashree or share with Rajashree. One of the thoughts that came up to today in our discussion, as well as many times, like right now, Michelle in San Jose, she's doing the breathing every day and some back bend, and the 10 minutes of breathing every day at 10 a.m. is just a wonderful way to connect. And I often find that even like with breathing, even like if something's unsettling or not, but even like halfway through the first inhale, I notice the difference that fast.
100%. 100%.
And
The
it's
air
like,
goes to the brain,
yeah,
from lungs and then brain, and brain opens up and you start feeling good about everything.
yeah. So, I mean, it's like that. I heard you mention about, connecting with the spirit and connecting with the soul. And even though we're not physically connecting, we are still emotionally connecting and have gone to that place of really a self practice in our yoga. We're not practicing with a group of people in physical proximity. We may be through Zoom or through other avenues, creating that connection. But I mean, I have this thing, and it's maybe a little bit of my anxiety that when everything opens back up again, it's not going to be as good as it is now. I'm almost beginning to enjoy this.
Well, like I understand that that's the way it used to be in India. India, we all had a home practice, and then whoever wanted to go and being with the others and visit the teacher and correct their own postures, they used to go. So it's kind of like going into the roots of the way I started. Looks like it's almost coming back as a circle. But don't forget one thing, that yoga creates the community. Yoga, that we all need to be going into the safe place where we practice, and we know the person next to you, or we know the teacher, and we create the community, and that's the bonding is missing because it's a different, because we all like-minded, we have the same interest, and we have maybe different experience, and those experience when happen in the class and each other, we as a pillar we support,
Yeah.
and that support system we need to continue.
Yeah.
It's not only for the yoga teacher to run and survive. I mean, that's the one big questions right now, because people are loving the online classes, they want to continue, but our life with the yoga became popular into the United States, all the Western world, because of the connection that we create in the studio.
Yeah.
And if we stop doing that and practice only home, I'm not even judging you that are you doing right or wrong, because I'm sure you are all checking how you are doing. Is it all yoga is good, whatever you do, how much you do, whatever you can do. But you already, like in the workplace, you don't want to create that connection. You definitely want to create a connection when you go to the yoga studio. Are you missing that connection because of the way the world is, right now? And we are. And that's why we are all cannot wait to go back and meet the family, meet the friends, meet the community.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? I haven't seen particular any questions pop up. I've seen a few comments here, but please feel free again to post anything, and we'll make sure that Rajashree is able to answer that.
Someone, Michelle said, I have one. Yes.
I
What's the
have one.
question?
Michelle, do you want to come on and ask the question? Let's give it a moment.
I think someone wrote to her.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I can.
This is so beautiful, and I just love how you explain the 4 pillars, Rajashree, and I'm curious on this third part of transcendence. I'm with you, right? My birthday, like I shared with you, is Thursday, and I feel like I'm in that pocket. But even collectively, do you feel like, as a culture, as a, we're there, we have an opportunity right now, right, to, how did you say, it's an opportunity of letting go, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
and it's dropping the greed and time to appreciate. I mean, I feel like collectively, in fact, even with this second half of being sequestered, we're even seeping deeper into that opportunity to transcend. Can you speak to
Yes,
that? Do you feel
yes,
that too?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, we are collectively doing that right now. And that is the way, because you and me, we are in that stage, but not everybody is, so no, they are not experiencing as much as you and me we are experiencing. So if someone on the first or second quarter, they would not understand that, and we have to be patient with them, because they will only see us and they will learn from seeing what they are seeing or experiencing, because of no matter what the transcendence, because we experience enough in life and we experience that, and we something motivate us, because with our experience and age, I'm bringing age means it's not being number, it's being experience, that knowledge what we have gone through, that something is important and something is not. Like culturally you said it, that's also I agree, because we bring up the culture, and sometimes we say that in culturally we are different, but emotionally we are all in same page. Emotionally we all go through the same emotion, that you cannot change. That's connect with our energy in spiritual level. We are all equal here, we are all same, and each one of us seeking for the truth on ourselves and finding that emotional connection and emotional transcendence, because what happened when you try, but sometimes you have to put an effort on it.
Yeah.
That sometimes we just expect in the level of where we are right now, that stage is, well, isn't it should appear? Many times it doesn't appear. You got to really realize it. That's why the self-realization whole thing has come up. I have seen my life so far, as much as I have, traveling all over the world, meeting many ages of the people. If you are really seeking, you will find it. If you're keeping your eyes closed, you will never find it. You might find with a very hard way. But the universe taught us everything. Universe gave us those experience, gave us those lessons, opportunity to learn. Sometimes we close our door.
Yeah.
So this part is that where you and me were experiencing, because I see your effort. You had experience with your life, teaching, running studio, enjoying what you have gone through. Your life wasn't easy, but your work was your inspiration,
Yeah.
where you find your love of your life that was giving others. And what when you did that, you connected. More you connected, you felt good.
Yeah.
And now here you are. You know what you need. You know what you don't need. You didn't still stop dancing. You did not stop going out doing your vanity things, because that's something gives you good pleasure, but that's not something to talk about. That doesn't give you transcendence. But what you do, your work. So people, when I said about the second stage, the purpose, that work has to come. There is no way. I mean, why the universal law create us by pressure, earn money. Is earn money is not for you being a selfish reason. You also give. And that's why you start connecting with others, getting married, having children, or you decide, okay, I don't take that path, I take a different path. I create business, I create different opportunity. See, we all need that purpose in life,
Yeah.
what gives us the meaning, and then you find that transcendence. Otherwise it doesn't.
I see. Yeah.
Hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And
Yeah.
one of the things, and I heard you say something about earning money, that we have to go out and do that. I look at earning money today as no different than going out a couple of hundred years ago and hunting for my own food or gathering my own food. But today it's just done differently. We have to go out and hunt and gather our own
You are right.
income to exchange for those things that maybe other people are doing. Yet it's often
You are.
looked at as like, oh, this wild chase for money. Well, that's, wild chase for, trying to get a deer,
It's called survival. It's
it's
called
called
that's
survival.
way. Yeah, that's why that's what the our those days, that's the way things has changed now.
Yeah.
We had to adapt, like for me, that's why I share my experience. Like, I'm not comfortable teaching on Zoom because I feel overwhelmed looking at the pictures. First, I have to put a glasses on first. Then I have to look for who to help or correct. That's why I'm not even doing that. But like, I have to adapt this, because if the world become like that, I have to do it. And that's what my effort is there. That I am not saying that why others are doing because they're young and they know what to do, how to do it. I'm getting old, I don't know, but I can't stop learning.
Yeah.
And I'm putting my effort in it. I'm trying to be, like, I'm not trying to be competing with them, but I am trying to understand, and I am trying to survive. We all do that.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that I heard you say was about really the last pillar of life in the storytelling, and how important that is sometimes in our lives. And I look at much of like even yoga. Yes, there's some written books and everything about it, but it's really a verbal tradition. And I really learned more about yoga through my teachers and things being passed verbally than I ever did reading a book. So I really look at that storytelling is so important that we have in this interaction. Like I said today at Zoom, before, a couple months ago, we'd go to a yoga studio, but now it's in Zoom. But it's like Yogananda says, the only place that we can experience God is in the cells of our body, right?
100%. Yes. And
And
that's why you need to meditate.
yeah. Are we going to do a meditation today?
Yes, I am ready to do a meditation.
Okay. Before we start, let's see, is there any questions?
I saw someone just popped up with something.
Michelle, did somebody have a comment on here?
Yeah, I'll read it. I'll read it here. It's from Anna Maria.
Yes.
As much as we all need and value that personal contact with our yoga students and fellow teachers, this quarantine has made me feel reunited and closer to our whole large yoga family again. I wonder how we can encourage and maintain the intimacy of both worlds. Good question.
I think, Anne-Marie, you've got exactly what we are discussing. That's why today, because we may have to continue both worlds. If we can step in the old world again, I don't know what's the restriction is going to be. We are all waiting to hear for that, but we will continue this some way or other. I'm sure the people who are already have knowledge and expertise, and they will continue. And I encourage people to continue and adopt a new era, because that's all about we can all about connection and adaptation and keep moving forward with hope and possibilities. My main thing is all about possibilities, because on difficult time we find out the possibilities.
So it's been really great having this discussion. I didn't know exactly where it was going to go, but I know for myself, it's just really wonderful to I feel settled and connected.
Mushida is asking the question, another question. What is the question?
There is another question, so we'll let that come up. And in the meantime, before that question comes up, maybe Michelle, you can help with that. But once we do the meditation, are we going to come back at all, or is the meditation going to finish everything off?
It's your choice, Michael. You are my moderator. You are even Michelle and Matt is doing everything. I'm in San Francisco. You are in India.
I'm in Taj Mahal.
Yeah, and I'm just in front of Golden Gate Bridge. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying the nature right now. Little foggy, but it's beautiful.
Yeah. I'll just mention for the people that are on here, you may have heard before that I was at the Taj Mahal with Rajashree and some other people, and I think it was 2002. And we actually did yoga. It's hard to see in this picture, but we did yoga on the Taj Mahal. Which
you have the picture? Did you bring the picture?
I do have it. Yeah.
Can you put it?
I don't have it on my computer right now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. No problem.
Yeah. It was a remarkable experience, and
I think doing different places is outdoor and indoor, and some landmark places is always experience.
Yeah. And just all the temples we went to.
Beautiful. Every state is different.
Yeah.
They have thousands of God we worship, but definitely it's all today. Mother's Day, I'm trying to take this moment to appreciate and sending my gratitude to everyone, all the mothers and mothers to be. It's a wonderful, wonderful day to celebrate. Of course, Mother's Day shouldn't come once a year. It should be throughout the year.
Yeah.
And we always need the blessings from our mothers.
Yeah. It's I'll mention this briefly. My father passed away in 1985 on Mother's Day, and my mom passed in 1994. So neither one of my parents had been on Earth a long time. I don't consider that I've lost them. I consider they just
No.
passed and they're
Yeah.
around all the time. But it's like
I
Mother's Day,
always,
it's always that special remembrance because of, how that happened when my father passed so many years ago.
I also the same way. My grandmother who raised me,
Yeah,
and I always think of her, and I always like to think the good time and the beautiful time I spent with her, my childhood,
yeah,
early childhood. So I just remember, and it makes me happy
yeah,
when I think about those days. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Um,
Okay. Is there a question?
it looks like Mershida had a question. I don't know if Michelle is able to find what that is, or um,
Yeah, I asked her to type it in, so I don't see anything there.
okay.
So okay.
Well, we can. I learned how today to um, add music to Zoom. We're all learning something new all the time, right?
That's true.
So let me double check, make sure I've got this set up. Then I can start the music. Let me go there.
Before, if you are watching me and you want to join with me for this guided meditation, Michael will play the music at the end to finish the today's conversation. Um, I I just want you to be safe and stay safe, follow the guidelines, and be healthy and enjoy with your family. But take the precaution whatever needs to do for your health and your loved one. Before we start the music, Michael, I like to guide them through some technique. I learned that yesterday because when I started, and not many of us knew what to do. Some knew and they couldn't follow. So I want to show you the technique first. Meditation, the very important thing is that you have to breathe in if it is hard for you. If I say 6 counts in the beginning and you know that it is not normal, so always to breathe in, maybe 2 counts, and try to exhale double counts. So if you want to breathe with me first, you can start right now. It's always better to sit on the floor. If you are not able to sit on the floor, you can sit on the chair. Keep the spine straight because we want to breathing goes through the all the centers of the spinal cord, which we call the plexus, the nerve centers. And that's the whole reason we try to do the meditation. There is sometimes there is no mantras, no formation, those words, or there is some reason that we want to do because we want to clear the mind and we want to make our breath comfortable and easy and deeper. So let's start breathing. Inhale through your nose, close your mouth. Inhale only through your nose. And let's exhale 4 counts, double counts. One more time, try to do 3 counts. Inhale, connect with your belly, heart, throat. Exhale through your nose again, 6 counts. Again, take the same 4 counts now. And exhale through your nose, 6 counts. Let's do 6 counts. Inhale now. Let's exhale 6 counts. One more time. Exhale. Now I'm going to teach you the alternate breath. That's another technique to very much when you find yourself like you are having a hard time, it's very stressful, or some mental thoughts is creating a lot of pressure that you're not able to sit quietly, you're not able to sleep in the night. So you can just sit down anytime. You don't need any other techniques. It's just the alternate nostril breathing. You can do that in the when you wake up in the morning, middle of the day, where the stress goes high, before you go to bed, when you want to have a good sleep. So 3 times a day is okay. You can do as long as you want to. And when you feel like I don't want to do it, you just let it go. But it's a habit. We can change our habit. Just meditate. Everything is life about meditate. So let's start. Alternate nostril breathing. We are inhale through our nose, holding, and then let it go with the left. Then again, we inhale through our left and hold it, and we let it go through the right. Again, we inhale through our right, we hold, and we let it go through the left. So we're going to do the 3 counts, and then I will tell you after 3 times when you complete the both side, I will ask you to bring your hands down on your knee, and Michael will end playing the music, and that will be our ending today. So let's join all together. I invite you to the alternate nostril breathing. Connect with the Hatha Yoga meditation, sun and moon. Inhale again through your left. Hold. Let it go through your right. This is a 1 set. So remember that we are going to repeat this 2 times. Hold. Let it go from the left. Again, inhale. Hold. Let it go from the right. One more time. Hold. We retain some air in our lungs and our belly. That's okay. Let it go from exhale left. Again, inhale through your left. Hold. Let it go from the right. We started from the right, we ended with the right. We made the whole circle. Let's bring your hands down on your knee. Being easy, comfortable, relax the shoulder, keeping eyes closed. Try to visualize the place you are and it's a happy state that it can be. Happy state of mind, happy place. Try to work with your happiness using the breathing as the key. Go deeper. In life, we all can live in whatever comes. We can live in with anguish, pain, or we choose to let that go with this journey or trust we call faith. And there is hope comes in. Hope brings that happiness. Michael, you can play the music. Faith. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by your ever-widening thought and action, into the heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. This is my prayer to you, my Lord. Strike. Strike at the root of penury in my heart. Give me the strength, likely to bear my joys and sorrows. Give me the strength to make my love fruitful in service. Give me the strength never to disown the poor or bend my knees before insolent mind. Give me the strength to raise my mind high above daily trifles. And give me the strength to surrender to your will with love. To your will with love. To your will with love. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Namaste. Stay well. Enjoy. Happy Mother's Day again. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Michelle. And thank you, all the viewers, to join us and have a great, great day. Namaskar.